DJI just released their latest and most compact drone, the Neo 2, and I grabbed this one as fast as I could. On paper, this one has a significant improvement comparing with the last generation, and it looks like a perfect fit for my adventure riding need. The DJI Neo 2 comes with a 12-megapixel half-inch sensor, and it can shoot 4K video up to 60 frames per second. It's now featured a 2-axle mechanic gimbal, plus level 5 wind resistant, a slightly bigger battery with a longer flight time compared to the previous generation. The exciting part is the LiDAR and the vision systems for automatic obstacle avoidance, a range of intelligent modes for quick creative features, which I'll dive a little bit deeper later. Control is very flexible as well. You can launch and fly it directly from your hand or use hand gesture and voice command. It's quite compact with the size of 2 iPhones put together side by side, and with a weight only 150 grams, it can basically fit in any bag. When talking about documenting my trip, I only just have 3 requirements for this particular drone. So how does Neo 2 perform in all those areas? Let's find out. Number 1, it needs to keep up with my pace. I'm not a super fast rider when I'm riding on the trail, but the drone needs to follow me through a corner in a reasonable speed that looks natural on the camera. Alright, first test.
Cycling follow. 3, 2,
1. 25. Alright, still following. Doing 30 now. Alright, now I'm doing 30, 40 to 40. I need to stand up for this. I mean, normally this would be what I'm comfortable with. It is still following me. Oh, it is. $43. I wonder what happens if I go too fast and it cannot keep up. Let's test out. I'm doing 54 now. Still trying to catch up. I mean, as long as I'm not too far away, I think it can still keep up. DJI claims a maximum flight time up to 90 minutes, but in real-world use, especially at full speed or in slightly windy conditions, the battery drains much faster. For my shooting style, I'm getting around 12 minutes, and that's already including a safety buffer to land the drone properly. By comparison, most standard drones offer 20 minutes or more. I think this is especially important for beginners who need the actual time to figure out the framing and what to shoot. The shorter flight time is definitely something to be aware of. They're straight ahead. Oh, it dodged that straight. I'm going that way, can you follow up? Oh. At this stage, I'm actually very confident on what capable this little guy is. Alright, I'm pretty happy with it. Alright. Let's see. Isn't that nice? And number 2, it must be able to follow me while avoiding obstacle. Riding a forest trail like this means the winding track, trees overhead, and random branches popping out from nowhere. I need to be able to trust the drone can handle this environment without crushing it or crashing too much. Alright, let's try how well the auto avoidance works.
Front. Cycling follow. 3, 2, 1.
What you are seeing here is a moment when the drone clipped the branch when rising. It didn't crash, but it immediately stopped recording and began a slow, controlled landing right where it was. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that happening and assumed the drone was still following me. Where is it? I can't hear it either. I think it was following for a while. I had no idea when or where the drone disappeared. And that's a real challenge when you are riding with the helmet on and the engine noise completely masks the sound of the drone. I used my app to connect the drone and found it. It just sort of like stay there. Let's test again. Let's give it another try. Wait. Okay, that scares me. Okay. I guess there's a adding benefit. Ugh. I was distracted. It would just fly in front of me. I was like, what are you doing there? And I thought. So it's kind of like an unexpected dismounting test. But in saying that, I think it's pretty happy. And number 3, also the most important one. It has to be taken off and land relatively quick. Well, traditional drones take way too long to set up, and unfortunately, time management was never my strong suit. So I definitely need something that can take off fast so it doesn't interrupt my riding flow. Now, I already know Neo 2 can take off and land incredibly fast. In fact, it took about 25 seconds in total. So the real question is, how long does the standard drone take to do the same thing? Start. Alright, let's do this as quick as possible. With the DJI Mini, I need to unfold all 4 arms, connect the controller to my phone, and then mount the controller to my bike if I plan to ride while the drone is in the air. It's in the air. Okay, let's bring it down. Landing is the same process in reverse. Sometimes I even bring a landing pad if the terrain is rough, like rocky or dusty ground, which add more time and take up actual space. And stop. I did it as fast as I could. Normally I'll take my time, but that took me roughly 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And this takeoff and landing time apply to all other drones as long as you are using a controller. Sure, 4 minutes might not sound a lot, but if you are stopped in the middle of the day under the hot torching sun, that minute counts. I'm not saying regular drones are bad, it's just a different way of shooting. With my DJI Mini, I usually need to carefully plan where and when I'll take off, and once it's finally in the air, I try to capture as many aerial shots as possible to make the setup time worth the while. That's very different from Neo 2. Well, after this short testing, I'm comfortable to say the Neo 2 solved my problem when I'm traveling on a motorcycle and want a secondary drone footage to help tell the story. It's fast enough to keep up, smart enough to dodge obstacles, and way quicker to launch for those short cinematic shots. But Neo 2 is not perfect. The price and the size increased significantly comparing with last generation, and this drone I don't think is for everyone. It's for those people who have very specific needs. And in my case, that's off-road adventure riding, and use it as a secondary footage. In my opinion, the Neo 2 is just a different tool. I plan to use it for quick shots while exploring off-road trails, capturing new angles that help better tell the story of my adventure. You'll see a lot of that in the coming videos, so stay tuned. I haven't had it long enough for full review, but so far, I'm genuinely happy to add this one to my camera gear. There are a different package configuration depending on what you need. I went with this drone-only version. You only have one battery, doesn't come with a controller, but it works for me. I could just grab a few quick shots, then throw it back to my tank bag to charge when I'm riding. If you want to fly higher or get a stable long-distance shot, then you have to get the Fly More combo. But for me, I'll just use my other drone for those shots. And for the record, this video is not sponsored by DJI. Although I do have many devices from DJI, but I paid all of them with my own money. If you want to check out any of these products, go to DJI website, buy them directly, or you can check out my Amazon affiliate links for those products down in the description. I could earn a small commission if you make purchase, only buy if you need it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.